Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here, early this morning. I'm here because I'm thinking about you. I'm lying in the bed and I'm thinking about people who are going to wake up in those areas where snow is, how cars are going to be slipping off the roads, people may go into ditches and get hurt, and that's been troubling me. It makes me feel that if we were on our gig, that we would have sensors and stuff on roads and stuff where snow would be just to keep those roads safe. That we would be looking after one another because all obvious reasons, because we care about one another. It could be our close relatives or a friend or us that gets caught up in this stuff. And so when we try to protect and build to protect ourselves, we're doing it to protect everyone that might be caught in the same situation. It's amazing to me, ladies and gentlemen, but as a social scientist, and yes, I am a social scientist, one thing that is obvious about all of us is that we want to know answers. We are looking for answers about things that deal with the society, anything that deal with the people, anything that the people got to go through, whatever the situation might be. We as a social scientist, or as social scientists, want to know why. We want to know the when. We want to know as much about the information as we possibly can. And so it would be easy to understand why I have always paid attention to what's going on around me, even before I actually went through and got a piece of paper that says I'm certified uh, as a social scientist. But I would watch people, especially when they go to church. I listen to what was written. It's like what the print, it's the play, it's the story. You listen to it, and then you watch people. You watch people who profess to be of this. You watch people who don't. And you find out that really there is no difference between the people who don't as opposed to the people that do. See, the people that don't and people that do are the same kind of people. They have to go through the same kinds of things in life that connects them. They make them the kind of the likeness. But there's something unique about a divine order. A divine order that is not just talk, it's walk. Now, the truth of the matter is that even in situations where we recognize people do some walking, like the first thing a Christian want to do is they want to say, well, you're a Christian, you stop drinking, you stop partying, you don't go out. I mean, we got the other stuff about committing adultery and fornication and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, other than that, you can't do anything else. So, what do? You stay at home, read your Bible, go to church, and this is what they call being a Christian. And they still want stuff. Nowadays, they've done some amazing stuff. They just start planting money. They call it planting money in the ground, but they're not. They're planting it in the plate so the organization can get it. And God is supposed to bless them because they did this. This is a sign that they have a relationship with God. And it's a sign that you got a relationship with the preacher. And the preacher lying to you because what he tells you profit him. But what he tells you don't profit you a thing. But bring you a part of the team, a part of the force that's whole there hoping that something happen. You know what they call that? The wide and broad, that all of these different groups of people who think they got it going on go through. But that what determines whether you are real according to that story is how you protect people. Somebody say, well, why don't you give or fix a food shelf for those who don't have food? Now that seems to be an admirable thing to do, right? But that alone is not enough. If you care enough about a situation to fix a soup line, make sure that your compassion does not stop there. Because if these people can go through the things that they are going through, you can bet people all over the world are going through this. Now, as a social scientist, you want to know how to fix this. How to fix this. Now, as an American and as a social scientist, I've studied our whole walk of life. I've been around here a long time. You know, a very long time, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've listened to a lot of lies, and I've seen a lot of people talk a bunch of talk. But the reality of it is, none of them have addressed the issue of satisfying the people. In other words, the systems of the world do not care about satisfying the people. The people. They are used as agents of exploitation for certain people. Agents of exploitation for certain people. It's like a pimp. It's like a man or a woman who's supposed to have a lover or what you call those partners, that super partner, yet got a whole line of other partners, secret. It's like a marriage where each partner is cheating on the other one and yet call themselves got a marriage. And because they cheat on each other, they can never accomplish what they could have accomplished if they were one in love with one another on a mission. No, it's scattered all over the field. So social scientists see these kinds of things. And when you look at people who are homeless, and when you look at people who don't have access to education, health, you see these problems, you see the crime, you see the poverty, you see the violence, you understand, you say, where does that come from? You see that it's made. It's made because all of the stuff that we've been taught, whether we got it in school or whether we just got it by being exposed to it in our daily walks of life, is all designed to keep us ignorant. When you go to church, you are being taught to be ignorant. It doesn't matter what they're telling you. They're not going to tell you the divine truth. Why? Because they don't know it. They might have heard it, but they don't trust it because they don't do it. See, you have to, if you knew the message is treat people like you want to be treated. Treat people like you want to be treated. You know how you want to be treated. You want everything to be. You want your wants, your needs, and your desires met. You want to live in peace and be prosperous and free. You want joy and happiness in your life. You want your dreams to come true. And you want it to be that way every day. You want that. Every last one of you want that. Now, there's a divine plan to have that. There's a divine plan to have that. But you don't know what that divine plan is. Because you're too caught up in the socialism. You're too caught up in communism. You're too caught up in dictatorships. And you're too caught up in capitalism and democracies. You're just caught up in everything. And why? Because it is these things that keep you off the path of life. That's all you taught. Anybody that comes over here and has always been, ladies and gentlemen, that told you the truth, you never followed them. You couldn't believe them. Sometimes you try to pretend like you believe them. And when you try to pretend like you believe them, you'll end up making a holiday for them. Or you might end up making a statue for them, saying that they were so special. But one thing you will not do, what? You will not do what they was asking and suggesting that you do in order to have the things of life. You won't do that. Treat your neighbor right. Treat people like you want to be treated. That's a simple matter. The design is express that in your being. So how do you do that? The first thing you do that, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Is that everything that you need to receive, to live outside of that which the Spirit has given you, like for instance, breathing, and you need to make sure that stay clean. But everything else that you have to do is been prepared. And all you got to do is engage yourself in the process of what? In the process of creating those goods and services that we all know are required by we human beings. Play you a part. I heard today that 8 billion baby was born or something. There are enough people in the world to have a whole Googles of people in every walk of life, making sure that you don't get tired, but at the same time doing what you were designed to do would give you your greatest joy. So you're not complaining about the time. You want more time, but there are other people waiting in line, so you go on break or go on a vacation so they can go to work. And you create such abundance Yes, you. Every last one of you. It doesn't matter whether you call yourself at the top in today's understanding or whether you call yourself at the bottom in today's understanding. Where this is going, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter where you're at. You can't be done without. It's like your hand. You see all these fingers? I got 5 of them. Now, they've been there all the time, but let one go up missing. You think something doesn't happen? Don't let 2 go. So you keep them all. Everybody, the baby finger and the thumb, they all got a role to play. So every job is important. And because, listen to me good, because you got a career, a job, in the process of creating everybody, my friend, this is the divine way, I'm telling you, to make sure that every human being, not just in America, but every human being, not just in China, in North Korea, in Africa, in Asia, not just every human being on the face of the earth, basic human rights. And it's a joy. No need to lie, to cheat, to steal, no hatred, no racism, no bigotry, no poverty, no crime, no violence, no police, no killing. What's wrong with you human beings? You'll go out there and argue. You got people out there talking about serving God, getting guns, killing people that they determine God don't like. As if God can't do his own killing. As if God can't do God's own killing. God don't need help. He needed maybe some help in your coming into the world. Use a man and a woman to work that out. But to take you out? No. God don't need no help in that. But being misdirected, acting like you know what you don't, this is all the kind of stuff. So what am I saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, today, talking long as I always do, is that this heaven that you're talking about dying and going to because you allow people to abuse you on this side of the plane and you abuse others on the side of the plane. You don't have to wait that way. Now, yes, probably if you stand up, you're going to have to stand up. It'd be nice if a whole bunch of you guys can stand up at one time. Or wherever you're scattered, if you can stand up, it had an impact everywhere. But that doesn't usually happen. And so what they usually do is they kill the head of the snake. That's what they call it, killing the head of the snake. Let me tell you a secret, ladies and gentlemen. If a man or a woman stands up for something that is, they say, real and beneficial for humanity. Now I'm not talking about beneficial for this person or that person, even though that's good. But I'm saying if they stand up, put their life on the line for something that's divine, some message that they're trying to teach you. If they stand up and put their lives on the line, and the enemy of this comes up and take their life, why do you think they took their life? Well, seriously, why do you think Dr. King was killed? Why do you think Malcolm X was killed? Why do you think Jim Brown was killed? Why do you think Emmett Till was killed? Because it's interfering with a bull, some crap. It's exposing. So when they get killed, ladies and gentlemen, what you are supposed to do is see that for what it really is. And like a magnet, be drawn to it. But you have been so indoctrinated that you won't do that. Storms may come, the winds may blow, and cause all kind of destruction. And even then, all the people can't come together. Some of them will. Something will be repaired and something won't. So it almost appears, and don't quote me on this, I'm not saying that this is what is happening, but it appears as if one of the cruelest and smartest games that are being played on human beings who think they are outsmarting God is this. God gave you choice and said that you can live on earth as though you are in heaven. But you got to do it this way. You got to treat people like you want to be treated. An enemy comes along and says, no, you don't have to do that. Look after yourself. Look after yourself. And that's how you get over. Now, in looking after yourself, now you don't have the support of everybody that's helping you along. Now you're taking advantage, trying to connive, taking advantage of people. This is what is happening. But the message is, you don't have to go that way. And if you choose not to go that way and get killed, that what is a sign. You say, how do you know that's a Christian? Somebody say, they're peculiar people. It's the way they do things, the way they are. You hear that all the time. But what the divine is trying to tell you, this is how you tell the true people. Why? Because they are over here doing what God is leading them to do, and they are being released from hell. What I mean by being released, they are being murdered from hell. Hell has said, we don't want you. Get out. Psh. Hell has said, we don't want you. Get out. Psh. On the other hand, everybody else, hell says, I can put up with you. Hell says, I can put up with you. I got control of you. I got manipulation over you. Ooh, excuse me. For an example, you heard the story about the natives. We call them natives. We don't know. We call them human beings over here in America before everybody else came here. There were those who said, we're not going to let you abuse us. And they defended themselves. But the enemy of their peace, the enemy of their life, says, well, we're going to kill you. And so they started finding ways to kill these people, just to kill them. I mean, just to kill them. These are people who were talking about God too. Man, I'm talking a long time. They were talking about God too, but they were killing folks. And as they were killing people who stood up, these people who stood up were being released from this hell because it was truly hell. And everybody else who would not stand up were marched, Trail of Tears, to here. They were marched to there. They were abused, and they have been abused since that day. So what do you call that? You call that hell. The warriors, the guys who said this isn't right and stood up, they're gone. But everybody else here, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren walking through this hell and don't even really know that it's hell. They just figure it's a normal way of life. But it's normal because you're living in hell, and it's normal. And you're still going to church, getting the preacher the money, thinking you tricking God. But the door is over here. How do everybody know? How do heaven even knows? When your mother is pregnant, people know that she's carrying a baby. And all of a sudden on a certain day, water breaks, stuff like this, and the baby pop out. So we already knew it's coming. Over here on the other side of it's your walking. Your walking represents your pregnancy. You're taking care of God's business, standing up for what's righteous. Standing up, you are being observed as being pregnant with the Spirit of God. And when you have actually walked through that period, that complete period where you had some effect, and the devil says you got to go, that's like when you were born. When they say pop, and then you shed out this world. You're born into a different world, as far as I know. I just know you're out of, to be honest, to tell you the truth, all I know is that you're out of this one. They teach, and I've heard that there's something wonderful on the other side, but I've never been over there. And I know that people lie so much about anything, I don't know whether it is or not, but I do know this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To get freed out of hell is fine with me. So this is the process, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not out there, and I'm going to tell you, as a social scientist, goodness gracious, you are not on the side of God. I don't care how wonderful things are for you in society. Eat Elon Musk. This man has been given some great talents, just like George Washington Carver, just like all of the inventors and discoverers. They're given talent. It was talent came from the spirit for humankind. But we live in a world that humankind is controlled for profit, for selfishness, to discard God. And so everybody has been and is being exploited. You're going along with the system, you're being exploited. You're going along with the system, you're being exploited. I don't care where you're in. And from the churches on down to anything, you're being exploited. And only going to church don't mean you're not exploited. Boy, no. So, but when you start standing up for what's righteous, you will be known. When they might put you out in the graveyard, and they might have 1 million people out there, but I tell you what, they put you out there, eventually you will be known, and you will be remembered. Why? Because the commission is a divine activity that took place. So, I'm going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I was going to talk to you about 3 minutes, and I've been talking to you 21. If you must be old and tired if you listen to it all. But I want to thank you so very much if you did, and if you didn't, hope you'll come back. Till next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.